How's it going, everybody? GodBaer here. Once again, thank you for clicking into one of my videos. We are back with NCAA Football 25, our Washington State Cougars Dynasty, showing you guys the depth chart for our Season 2 of us playing through. Realistically, it's Season 4, since our first 2 years we simulated. That way we could utilize players that we had personally added to the team through the recruiting of prospects. Cordero is going to be the starter, but you guys saw that him and Laporta are cheat code of a quarterback, 98 speed, 96 throw power, is only 1 overall, less than him. Mariani is now the starting middle linebacker who had 12 interceptions last season. Hopefully we can come out and repeat that success, if not break the season record of 14 interceptions nationally. We're starting inside the top 10 in the polls, rank 8th, going against the FCS Midwest. Very big overall difference. But again, we want to come out week 1, show what our team can really do in terms of pure potential, pad some stats, and go into the following season on a high note. Of course, if we happen to lose against an FCS team, that would drastically hurt our feelings, and yeah, we're just not going to comment about that because that better not happen. Mr. Julius Suggs is once again the starting running back. Richards is the backup once again. Hopefully everybody that played well can do what they did in a better fashion, if not in a consistent basis, as we are getting sacked on a 3rd and goal, making it 15-yard line. We do recoup a little bit of that, but 3rd and goal, we will fail to get in the end zone, so we will kick a field goal, which goes through the uprights, a little bit close, but again, kicking is mildly difficult. Is Mariani gonna throw out an arm, put the running back on his back? And then Das, a player that didn't get to play much of last season, coming in. He's a borderline safety, playing at 3rd string linebacker with 92 speed, I believe, but he's also about 220 pounds. Again, would be a great user linebacker, but we are trying to find a good balance between playing the best player at the position, continuously going for stats, and ultimately playing our younger guys so they can progress well and get those tribute bonuses. As didn't mean to pump fake there. Luckily, we do recover the fumble that Cordero put on the ground, and then on top of that, we get into the end zone, so the fumble didn't hurt us too bad, as we are up by 2 possessions. Bad angle from myself. 31's gonna throw off Mueller, number 3, our 2nd string middle linebacker, up until we do make the adjustment as we get roughing the passer here by Mariani, which Mariani doesn't have to worry about too much. Yes, it does allow them to continue their drive, but it's more of a play style check, while Mariani lets the quarterback know that he's out here. Mariani, a menace for opposing offenses, as again, those 12 interceptions and a fake field goal here, only down by 10, surprisingly, but they go for it, fail to convert it for any sort of points. We're back out here on offense, got to drive the entire length of the field. Julius Suggs, not a whole lot of carries into this game as of yet. Again, trying to get Cordero and these wide receiver options the ball so they can get into some more attribute points, which is what we're mentioning. This will become a more in-depth conversation in episode 2, but we'll wait until we get to that point. As nice pass, left guard, number 68. Let the defensive tackle walk straight through. So luckily we got that ball off. Had to allow Mr. Group to finish off the drive. Phenomenal spin by 31. I was smashing X to get the conservative tackle, but he spun the most perfect timing to avoid my tackle there. And the Mariani out here ain't allowing nobody to get that first down around him, and the CPU will miss the field goal. One of the first misses I've seen this year in Dynasty, but I will take it. It was also an FCS team, so I wasn't expecting them to make it, especially from that distance, but they do miss it far left. We will accept that roughing the passer to continue our drive, trying to squeeze through the defenders. Number 8, Hernandez, not holding up on the block there, but again, he's more of a smaller senior 95 speed receiver. Julius Suggs capitalizing with one of his very rare receiving touchdowns. Usually is Richards who comes out for any receiving options as the running back. We get absolutely torched here, getting him down at the 1 yard line. First and goal. They'll just walk it in anyways. I came in with Mueller, but missed the tackle itself. Their first touchdown of the game, so it's not too big of an issue. We got 2 minutes on this drive to finish it in the end zone. Change in field with Suggs getting tackled by number 29, and I am severely loving this dynasty. I'm happy I chose my home team, Spokane Washington State Cougars. They were, again, a low 80 overall, maybe high 79, depending on how you want to look at it in the season. Of course, like I did mention earlier, we spent the first 2 real seasons recruiting prospects, redshirting the prospects we chose year 1. The second year, we add more prospects to the team where our first freshmen are spending their redshirt years. And then year 3, we're playing the redshirted freshmen while our second set of prospects are also sitting redshirted. So, coming out with a fair share of players that we personally put on the team. There are a good amount that are defaultly on the team as we get an interception here, but they're going to hit us with the defensive pass interference, and they're going to go for a field goal and fail this one also far left. But there are some good players on this team that were, again, on the default rosters of WSU. For example, Mr. Rice, who had 14.5 sacks in season 1. He had 5 sacks in the very first FCS team against the FCS East squad that we played, the Astronauts, or whatever their mascot is. So hopefully, again, he can repeat that success. We do have Terrell starting at the other defensive end position. Again, so D-line didn't change a whole lot. It will change next year as we will lose Rice and Terrell. So we will finally get to see some of our prospects on the defensive side of the ball, other than Mr. Mariani at the starting position in linebacker, and then our safeties being Thompson and Haynes. So D-line finally getting to capitalize on who we added soon. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can truly do. We have Mr. Pride, who, again, I have not yet played through season 3 to see what he's fully capable of. So I have nothing to spoil in that regards. I have finished season 2 as I'm showing you guys the first 2 games of the season. So again, I'm not going to share any indications of how it goes, what goes good, what goes bad. We're obviously whooping up on an FCS team, which should go the way it's going. Santana busting off a big run, spinning, trying to get into the end zone down to the 5-yard line, where RPO to Lawrence, our 6'4" wide receiver, taking it into the end zone for, I believe, his first touchdown of the day. Up by 27, Mariani out here doing everything he can to shut down the opposing team. Interception by Edmond, who gets to take up a position higher in the cornerback slots as Rice getting roughing the passer. So they will continue their drive, a rare running back screen that I do not sniff out. Try to pride myself on getting my hands on every wide receiver or running back screen attempt, as again, 12 user interceptions with Mr. Mariani last season. Looking to expand upon that personal record since it's our first full season of playing through. Mr. Group with another touchdown on the post route. Love this man so much. Unfortunately, his potential is not very high. He has kind of reached his ceiling, we'll call it, which is one of the issues that I'm not going to say I'm having with NCAA football. I understand that there's, normal, impact, star, and elite development traits. And then again, there's stars, one, two, three, four, five in terms of prospects. And those stars indicate to you how many mental or physical traits that they have on said player, but their overall potential about like how many of their attribute bars can go up through their play style and how they overall develop through the offseason training. I don't know what really plays a factor in of that. The star rating, the development trait, I don't think has any impact in how high of an overall they can truly become. So you almost have to, regardless of both of those, their star rating or their development trait, manually click into every player and check to see what their real potential is. Um, and again, we're going to look more closely in that factor in the next game. It's the same episode. So I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. You saw that Richard fumbled the ball and the opposing team in this Orange Foxes, not sure what their mascot is, but FCS Midwest recovered the ball. And it's not going to really matter. Foot on top of number 82 there with his little slant, running the route better than what the receiver did, getting his hands on the ball. We are going to chew the last 2 minutes of this game. Lawrence getting out of the end zone and actually into the end zone. So not much of a chewing clock. That's what we were aiming to do, but we will take the touchdown if it arises. Coming out to get another turnover and finish up the game. We definitely do not want to allow FCS to score any more points. As Rice trying to get a sack, Mariani will take the advantage and come down and pick himself up a sack. And Julius Suggs, that big old 230 frame, just shrugging off some DB tackles and insult to injury just because we like to be a little bit of some collegiate bullies out there, kicks the field goal as time expires just to make the game look a little bit uglier. 58-14. Player of the game will be Cordero. 7 total touchdowns, 409 yards, 93.5 completion percentage. And again, quarterback will always kind of thrive against the FCS team. 6 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing from Cordero. A good day yards-wise, 147 with Suggs. Group 2 touchdowns, Lawrence with 3. And defensively, leading tackler is going to be Mr. Haynes. Our safety comes down and makes a lot of tackles. Last season, I believe he was our leading tackler, and then it was Al Ukda, which we unfortunately do not have anymore. He graduated without going to the NFL. He was like a mid 80 overall, and you have to be like an 87, 88 overall, and even at that point, they're not guaranteed to be drafted or declared for the NFL draft, and he missed that mark. This week we're going up against the Marshall squad. We are both 1-0. We definitely do not want to add our first loss onto our record, so we're hoping to give it to this team here, the Herd. We know their mascot because it's literally over their logo there. So I like how they do that, as they're going to capitalize on their drive, get the first points of the day. Richard's going to be the starting running back here because, Suggs, with how many yards and the 15 carries that he got last game, is a little sore. And we also have what we like to believe is a good setup with running backs. It's a very two-headed system. Suggs is going to be our primary halfback in terms of the depth chart. And then third down back and power back are going to be Richard, allowing for both of them to get a good amount of touches. Obviously, Suggs, we are going to prioritize in terms of offensive formations. There are a good amount of shotgun formations, which we primarily run when we do choose to run the said football. So you got to be wary of where Suggs is the starter and when Richard is the starter, as the Herd are going to doink the football off the upright. Happy they did that because, again, we always prefer to have the lead. We never want to be the losing team, regardless of where we are in terms of duration for the ball game. Santana spinning, getting the first down. First quarter coming to an end. Tight end screen from single back formation of all things coming into play. We're trying to expand upon our play choices. We are still in the Alabama offensive playbook and then the 4-3 multiple defense. The game plan or overall method of how we like to play offense will remain to be, short, dink and dunk, low or short to mid passes with the occasional deep passes. Is this one just a really odd play? I don't know if it was supposed to visually look like that, but it was like a odd, almost like a QB direct handoff, and it threw me off a little bit. Obviously, the camera was viewed back, so it made me feel like the running back was going to have it or should have had it. And number 12, very Randall Cunningham looking quarterback, especially with the color scheme, ended up taking it off for a first down. And we're not looking too great right now, as the herd here like to kill a lot of clock. That toss play had 4 of the 5 offensive linemen as pulling offensive linemen. It was kind of ridiculous. Almost made me want to change formations purely because or playbooks for that one play. Mariani coming out here and saving the touchdown as he cracked the quarterback as he was trying to reach out into it. They will fail to convert, so we're stuck here at the 1 yard line, and we will also fail to convert on 3rd and 8, where we will now go into coaching options, and because we're offensively struggling a little bit, swap to Laporta. Any point our quarterbacks are going to struggle, we are not going to be afraid of swapping Cordero to Laporta. You see Cordero here has a good amount of ability to progress in his accuracy, but not much more than that. Laporta, his ceiling is not very high at all. He's not going to get much more accurate. And then Rasmussen, look at this man's potential. He has everything damn near max. This man can become so goddamn well. Obviously, he was a 4-star elite development, but he only has 3 negated or redacted squares out of every single attribute. Hands down, regardless of how Cordero and Laporta progress or develop in the training of the offseason, we must play Rasmussen from what you guys just saw, as Mariani getting the interception, running it down into the end zone, breaking the tackle of number 12 there, allowing the running back to catch us up there. But Mr. Rasmussen, oh my lord. When I saw that, which is after the game here, but I had to show you guys the development or the potential aspect of Rasmussen and our other 2 quarterbacks comparison-wise. It's just made more sense to clip it into the depth chart adjustment that we made, which was purely for this game. We'll contemplate it for next episode against the following 2 games. We'll see how Laporta plays for this one. Obviously trying to get into the end zone, getting a little carried away knowing he has 98 speed, trying to outrun the defensive end, but ultimately losing 20 yards, stalling our drive, and we'll punt it away. Our defense, needs to step up a little bit as well. We go into the second quarter with ball, which is why we ultimately just settled with the stalled out drive after losing 20 yards on that sack, is Mr. Group having quite the kickoff to the season, breaks a tackle, squeezes through multiple defenders, gets himself into the end zone. A little bit of a I don't want to say a buggy play, but got himself into the end zone, so I'm not going to argue with it. Mariani with his second interception of the day, and very, very pretty at this point. What was a close ball game. As soon as Laporta came in, I don't know if everybody on the defensive side wants to play harder for Laporta or what, or it's just a matter of how things are panning out in terms of timing, but this game all of a sudden got ugly. As soon as we put Laporta in, everybody started shining. I'm happy with it. As long as we can maintain this as 82. Holy crap. Am I happy that Haynes has the speed and the awareness to track that man for a touchdown saving tackle. They will continue their drive. 45 doing everything he can for this squad to keep this a ball game. They will punch it into the end zone with number 1. Go for the 2-point conversion where number 9 will dive over the offensive lineman. I'm pretty sure he would have had it if he just would have continued running it up, but he wanted to add a little bit of style points by diving that one over. Getting tackled for a loss until he dips under the tackle. Great block by Hernandez to get the first down. 3rd and inches. Read option to get the first down. Game plan for this drive is to get, again, as many first downs as killing as much clock as possible. Mr. Group having a phenomenal 1 game, but 2 days of the season. 2 or 3 touchdowns in game 1, and now this one, a lot of yards with a 3rd or 4th touchdown overall. Phenomenal start by him. But again, since we are on the topic of ceilings for players, he's not going to get a whole lot better. It's been great having him in season 1 and season 2, but he will not get any higher than an 80 or 85, which again hurts me because he's done so well for us. But if we can get our hands on one better tight end, or somebody that's at least going to aid us further down our dynasty career, he will be supplemented for a better overall player. Again, we will chase records career-wise, season-wise, whenever, if that arises or if the opportunity showcases itself. But a tight end, for how we play offense, most likely not going to be in pursuit of any record. So he, again, if we can add some better prospects to the squad, or if anybody develops higher than him, he will be replaced. Again, the name, the player being a vertical threat, great option for us in terms of a tight end. But honestly, even a blocking tight end we would start if they were a higher overall. But we're not going to feed into too many like what if possibilities. If anything like that comes up, we'll deal with it at that point. Mueller out here coming in to play for Mariani, in a way stealing one of his possible interceptions, because if Mariani wasn't tired from chasing down all the tackles, he would have had his 3rd interception of this ball game against Marshall. Finishing up this drive, 12 seconds left, chewing the clock. Laporta wants to end the day with another rushing touchdown, making this one a little bit uglier than it is. As mentioned previously, we're a little bit of a bully when it comes to scoring points when we don't necessarily need to. 48-22. Laporta will be our player of the game. 3 touchdowns, 181 yards, 100% completion, where he completes 14 of 14 passes. Cordero 9 for 11, but a measly 48 yards. So saying that he struggled was an understatement, but neither of our running backs did anything either. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you thought down in the comment section. And until next time, everybody, GodBaer out.